listening to the nation's premier source on health, beauty, and wellness. Detroit Nation with Dr. V. Elaine Arterberry. Lifestyle Driven.
This is Dr. Arterberry from Detroit Nation, bringing you the latest in health, beauty, and wellness. We are driving the nation and focusing on Detroiters who impact the nation through their commitment to beauty, health, and wellness. Today's guest is Kevin Matthews, stylist of stars. I have been so excited to have Kevin here. He recently relocated back to his hometown of the D, and he's here today in the studio after spending eons in New York, styling famous and beautiful people. Welcome, Kevin.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I'm so glad you're here. I'm so interested in some of the scoop on the stars you've styled, but I know you have confidentiality agreements, so you can't say anything. I always personally admired people who have a sort of practical and fashionable sense. So I'm delighted that you're here today.
Oh, great. I'm glad to be here.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. You're from Detroit, but you went to New York forever and ever. Tell me about that.
Again, from Detroit, love the D, of course. After finishing up undergrad at Michigan, I decided to move to Seattle, lived in Seattle for about a year. There worked for Neiman Marcus, which kind of started everything, a new concept for the company called The Galleries. There it was just awesome, and then decided, if I really want to be and do and take this fashion thing over like I really want to, New York was definitely the place for me to be.
So what age did you get started? Like, what got you interested? I understand your sister was into fashion.
She
and you
was.
kind of overtook her?
Yes, definitely.
That's kind of cool.
She, we're all very close, my siblings and I, and she was studying at FIT, Fashion Institute in New York, and we used to talk all the time, every day, and I'd hear about all the things she was doing, interning at Calvin Klein, Marie Claire, that sort of thing, and, I was like, this is definitely what I should be doing, not you.
Oh, that's funny. That's really funny.
So I definitely thought, this is the path that I want to go in.
Right.
I was excited about fashion, love fashion.
So how did you prepare for a career in fashion? Like, what did you end up doing? You did Neiman Marcus, and then what happened?
It really wasn't a preparation thing. I think, and that's with fashion, period. I think it's kind of something that you inherently have or you don't. It was something I was really passionate about, and, I knew that I wanted to be successful. I mean, that's what I want to be successful in everything I do. So it was about really kind of getting in there and wanting to do and be everything I could. So it was, finding jobs and working with great companies that really lead in the fashion industry. And that was definitely my motivation for, getting involved in the industry.
Well, there's so much emphasis on stylists and styling people. I mean, the stylists themselves have now become, many of them who were in the background for a long time, have now become celebrities on their own.
Right.
What does a stylist do? And does it depend if they're doing a magazine or I think most people think about sort of personal styling, but there's way more to it. You can do magazines. Tell me a little bit about what a stylist might do.
For sure. I mean, there's different types of stylists. I mean, there are editorial stylists that really focus on more magazines, newspaper, print, that sort of thing. There are more runway-focused stylists who are, working with designers and things like that in terms of styling collections and putting them down the runway.
Right.
There are personal stylists who are
Which I think we mostly know about, like personal stylists.
Exactly.
Right?
And you're working with individuals. I mean, there are people who are closet organizers. There are people who are revamping wardrobes. There are people who are, pulling looks for individuals for specific events that they have to go on, vacations, things of that nature.
Oh,
so
I see.
it kind of spans the gamut.
So what kind of styling do you do? What types? You do personal, you do runway?
My career kind of started off with more focusing on the designer piece of it.
Okay, working with designers.
Exactly, and really focusing on the runway piece and working with designers on preparing their collections and photography from an editorial standpoint. But, I think with anyone in their career, it kind of evolves,
right.
So, I really found out that I wanted to help the masses. I wanted to kind of change the face, or image of how we see people and how people see themselves. So I thought really focusing on the individual was the direction I wanted to be in and kind of where I'm at right now.
So you recently relocated to Detroit and you did a stint at Nordstrom's, but I hear you struck out on your own. Tell me about that.
I thought, recently relocating back to the city, I thought that, working with a retailer, especially someone great like Nordstrom, would be an awesome opportunity for me to meet clients and meet individuals and kind of build my client base back here in the city. And I actually just left them last week. And I'm a person that, has a very entrepreneurial spirit. So, it was it was time, and I also felt like it was better for me to be out on my own and be able to shop everyone, shop all designers, and not be kind of limited, just to, offer my client the best possible service.
Right, not just one store that they can
Exactly.
get. Because normally I think you pick and choose, and it's my understanding that sometimes people send the stylist stuff for their clients,
Totally.
depending.
Totally.
So now to the good Hollywood part. Okay, so you've had some really, really great clients. Tell me a little bit what you can share, who you've styled, and about them.
Alan Cumming was probably my favorite. He's an awesome actor, British and great sense of style, willing to try different things. I design a collection of ties as well, Zeno and Marie, named after my parents. Their middle name, Zeno is my dad, Marie is my mom. And it really focused on bow ties,
Oh, how cute.
So, he was an initial client of mine that I just loved. He wore a lot of my pieces to events, and the Pee Wee Herman premiere on Broadway and things like that. And I've worked with Hayden Panettiere and
what
quite
was
a
she
few
like?
different people. She's really cool, really down to earth, fun and funky, easygoing, and that's kind of my approach to fashion. So it was a great synergy between us. Yeah.
Oh,
definitely.
good. Oh, how fun. How do you get inspiration? I mean, I know you have to take, especially if you're doing editorial work, and even with personal people, a lot of people, we have this huge movement for art coming back to the city.
Right.
Do you get inspiration from contemporary art or what's
Everything.
going on?
Really, everything. I feel like be inspired by everything around you, by people, all age groups, all ages, all races, all everything, by art, by street, by cars, by absolutely everything. Your mind has to be very open to receiving a creative message wherever you're looking,
Right.
So my eyes are always open and looking at something new or something catching my eye or someone cool and funky, because
Right.
you can, it may not be for you, but there's a piece of it, that you can definitely make and work into your own style and own wardrobe.
How important is Fashion Week for you? Is it really just the dog and pony show? Or, I mean, where it's for the public, or do you really pick up ideas and trends, et cetera? Or has it already been established before they get there?
No, Fashion Week's awesome. It helps to drive, trend, like you said, from that standpoint. A lot of people are driven by trend and motivated by trend. And for me, it's great to see what designers are doing new and what's new and fresh on the market. But I've never been a person really, driven by trend. I'm a person who feels like, what works for you. I mean, there are definitely trends that you're excited about and you want to jump all over,
Right.
and I'm definitely all about that.
And some trends come and go.
Exactly.
And we're going to talk about that, like what stays, what needs to stay, and what needs to go. And when people look at their closets, like a whole lot of stuff needs to go.
Go and go fast.
Oh, you're so funny. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in 1 minute with Kevin Matthews, stylist to the stars. We're going to take a break and get back in a minute.
Detroit Nation with Dr. V. Elaine Arterberry, driving the nation to health, beauty, and wellness.
Drivers of Change, showcasing to the world the innovators from Detroit, Michigan, and the nation that are shaping the country. Today's driver of change is Calvin Klein. I picked a fashion person because we had Kevin here. And my feeling is that Calvin Klein is a driver of change because he was one of the early adopters of branding, licensing, and allowed the fashion designer to really have a global and worldwide impact on style, on household accessories. He was one of the early adopters to kind of take the fashion message and bring it into more a broader scope of a global marketplace. But I don't know if Kevin agrees. What do you think? You don't agree? No?
No.
Why not?
I
thought Calvin was the man. Calvin Klein jeans, all those big ads in Times Square.
He's awesome, but I felt, I've always just loved Donna Karan. I felt Donna Karan has just done an awesome job at driving a brand and making it accessible to everyone. I felt also she's hit all age groups in a really fun, cool, funky way, especially with the DKNY brand and how that's evolved, I think, and it's still very, very relevant, I felt Calvin Klein is, a great brand, and it's gone in and out in terms of its, popularity, but I felt DKNY is just been around forever, and it continues to really stay fresh. There's been evolution to that single brand. I love Donna Karan. I think she's awesome.
Okay, so we're fighting about that. Okay, we'll agree to
Definitely.
disagree because I love my Calvin Kleins. Okay. What do you think? What are the top 3 things in your styling kit that everybody must have?
Black pants. Everyone
Men and
must-
women.
Men and women.
Just
must
any
have
black pants? Well, but most people are wearing leggings. You mean stretchy black pants like that?
You know, leggings are one of the things I definitely think need to go.
Oh,
from the
no.
closet.
Why? Everybody wears leggings.
You know, I just think leggings sometimes can be a slippery slope to sloppiness.
Oh, stop.
Okay. You know, I just feel, I really miss the days. I'm very inspired by older dressing, earlier times and eras. I just felt like there was more of a focus and dedication on presentation of yourself. And I just feel like leggings, among a couple other things, are, flats to be another good example. But I feel like they're just, a quick and easy way out from getting dressed and really presenting yourself in the
It's
best
so
possible
fast
way.
and it's so easy.
And easy.
Right, I know. And people do it. Everybody wears black leggings.
Exactly.
Okay, black pants. A good pair of black pants.
Good pair of black pants. A great
What's the second
white
thing?
shirt. I love white shirts. White shirts are great because they can be dressed up, they can be dressed down.
Now, this is for men and women. This is kind of unisex styling.
I think totally.
Okay.
I think fashion, especially the way it is now, and you can see the evolution of men's fashion has become more unisex. Like it's really about individuality, and it's really about rocking it the way that you want to rock it.
Self-expression. And if that has a little feminine side, then so be
Yeah,
it.
totally.
Yeah.
So, black pants and a white shirt, I mean, I love that. And
Okay, now let's get into this white shirt thing because
Okay.
there's whole colonies and culture around the white shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's some stylists that is it a white crisp shirt? Is it a wrinkly shirt, or does it matter?
no, I don't think it matters. I
Really?
think like what's the white shirt that works for you? I mean, my summer uniform is a white t-shirt. I mean, I love a V-neck white t-shirt.
Like a Hanes
Yeah,
or
I
what?
mean,
I bet yours is fancier than Hanes.
No. Actually, it used to be fancier than that. It was about, a Prada white T-shirt, and then it's kind of drilled down to an American Apparel white T-shirt.
Okay.
But now I am all about, a Target, Walmart, Kmart, Hanes V-neck T-shirt.
Okay.
I think it's great with jeans and loafers, jeans and sneakers. It's great under a jacket and, with a pair of pants. Like, it's just, the white T-shirt is just so universal. So, I mean, I love a white shirt.
Okay, black pant, white shirt. What's the other third? What's the third thing that's got to be in the kit?
Amazing shoes. I think your shoe makes or breaks a look. So if you are focused on a great shoe.
How am I doing today? Our listening audience, because I bought these shoes from Kevin,
Yes,
so I'm going to
yes,
ask what he
yes,
thinks.
yes.
I'm sure he's.
They're amazing. It's a joie pump that's amazing. So she looks awesome, as she always does. But a great shoe makes or breaks, and even the shoe you have on today, it's great with the look you have on with the dress. It's great with a pair of jeans. It's great with a pair of shorts. So
So
your
spend the
shoes-
money. If you're going to spend the money, spend it on the
on a
shoe
shoe, a pant, and white shirt.
and keep it moving.
And keep it moving.
Oh my goodness, I love this. Okay, so let me ask you, where do you see yourself taking your styling career? Do you want to do movies, television? Where do you want to focus now? You've done editorial, you've done runway, you're doing some personal. Where do you want to go next?
I really want to keep focusing on the personal side. I feel like I am a purveyor of style, and I really want to try to change the face and be a catalyst for how people get dressed and view themselves and get dressed and take pride in how they're presenting themselves to the public. So, I've really discovered in my experience that a lot of people are just uncomfortable. They don't know what to do, what to wear, how to match things together. So I really want to help educate people. And that's actually my approach to styling as well. It's not about telling you what to do and what to wear. I want to educate you as to why it is that you're wearing, why you're putting these things together, just so that you can, present yourself to the world and feel confident about what you're wearing.
Well, what I've been interested in probably the last 15 years is this whole merging of style, fashion, beauty, television. There's a whole. Tell me what you think has happened to fashion. Fashion used to be just for the fancy. Now fashion is taking its sort of role in the everybody's about fashion, and even having a stylist. I think people thought, oh, this is something movie stars only have.
Right.
But that's not true.
No, not at all.
Stylist is coming down to how to present yourself to the world. Is image everything?
It is. I mean, it shows your mood. I mean, I love glasses. I mean, I have like 50 million frames. I change my frame based on my mood. Like, it's really all about presenting yourself and how you're feeling. It's all about, what you want to show and give to the world on the day you get dressed and leave out of your door every single day.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's the everyday part that
Yeah.
people have the problem with.
Exactly.
How do you make it work every day? I mean, everybody can get dressed and pretty for a big event, but how
Right.
do you get your wardrobe? And it sounds like you have to edit.
You definitely have to edit. If you're I always say, if you are questioning what you have on, then you should relook at something.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to work and you're wearing something and you're wondering whether or not it's appropriate for work, then it's probably not appropriate. So I mean, if you have too much, take something away.
And what do you do with it? I mean, people have clothes and they say like, "Oh, I can't see what I have." Right? Is that a good way to be?
No, that's about the editing process. Like, you're not wearing everything. I think it's about having, good quality clothes. I think my beginning of my career was all about having every designer and every hot shirt and every pair
Everything
of
that came
pants
out,
and
every trend.
everything. But my look has really evolved to a uniform. And it's just what works for me. It's easy. I don't think that fashion should be a bunch of work. I don't think it should.
It should be fun.
Yeah, it should be, and it shouldn't take you. It shouldn't involve like working for hours and days and weeks to create a look. It's just about throwing something on. I think the best outfits are the outfits you didn't think would work, but now they do, and it's something you threw on. So
Right.
yeah.
What celebrity would you really like to dress, and why?
Brandy.
Really? Why
Yes.
Brandy?
Her style is always changing. It's always evolving. I love her as an artist. I think that she's so explorative in terms of what she's doing. Just the way that she approaches her art, the way she approaches what she's doing, the way she approaches fashion. Like, I just love it. It's always evolving. She always looks spot on. She always looks, appropriate. She's always got, a little bit of oomph and a pop to her look. And, I just, that's my approach to fashion as well. So, I totally.
Oh, that's great. What's the most treasured item in your closet? Like, what do you absolutely cannot live without?
A belt.
A particular belt? Any belt? Just
No,
random
any
belt?
belt. I must have a belt on.
Why?
My dad always raised us to always have a belt on with his
that's
pants.
so
sweet.
sweet.
So, a belt is necessary. I mean, and I love belts, and they can make or break a look just like, shoes can, So you've got on a great black pant, a great white shirt, and it seems really, just regular and common. But if you've got on a sharp belt, that pulls the look together, So a belt.
Okay. Well, we'll be back in a minute. We're going to take a quick break.
Detroit Nation with Dr. V. Elaine Arterberry. Lifestyle driven.
This is Dr. Elaine Arterberry with Detroit Nation, lifestyle driven to beauty, health, and wellness. We are here today with one of my favorite guests, Kevin Matthews, fashion stylist to the stars. I'm so happy Kevin has moved back to Detroit and is styling people in the D. I'm so excited that you're part of this whole movement. Detroit is having this huge sort of renaissance, a real resurgence in culture, fashion, beauty, and I'm so glad you're here to be part of it. What do you think is the most inspirational thing, or what do you like best about coming back to Detroit after being in New York all these years?
The pride in the city. I
I
think
know.
There's so much pride. I mean, my friends and I who've moved away, no one better say anything about the day. I mean, you say anything bad about the city. I mean, there's just a pride, and I think because there's this resurgence going on, people are excited. And that was a main reason for me moving back as well. Like, I'm excited the change that we as a city are going through. And it's just really exciting.
And
I
how do
really
you want
wanna
to be part of
that.
that? Like, how are you going to be part of it? What are you going to do?
I think from a fashion perspective, I think the arts are so important. And I think, especially a great city like Detroit, I think the arts are so important, and I want to, really become involved with that movement in the city. I think that fashion plays a key role in that. Fashion is so inspired
And they're
by
so
the arts.
intertwined at this point.
Totally. So I really want to just work with that and work with people involved in that and bring that excitement in terms of fashion and approach to fashion back to the city, you know?
Do you think that Detroit could be cultivated into a fashion community like New York and all these others, Paris? I mean, they've been that for centuries. But do you think Detroit has the energy to cultivate designers, fashion? I mean, we already have it in the auto, but
Right.
not so much in clothing.
Right,
Do you think
right.
it could be cultivated that way?
Oh, totally. You know, I mean, we have a lot of amazing talent here, and you know, I think people overlook the city for that, and there's a lot, and they definitely shouldn't. I mean, it's like I feel like for culture, the city is like treating it like the automotive industry, like we're like a factory constantly pushing
Right.
great talent out there. So you know, we definitely could be, you know, an epicenter for, you know, fashion, culture, the arts, all of that. Definitely.
One of the things I like to ask our guests is their favorite quote.
My favorite quote is one that I came up with myself, and it's
Oh, it's your own quote.
It is.
A quote is usually somebody else,
No,
Kevin. It's you or the
no,
quoter.
It's me.
Okay.
And it is long live fashion. I mean, fashion makes you happy. I mean, I can see when working with clients after I've worked with them, and it changes you. I mean, that's why when people get dressed and they leave out and they go to an event, they feel good when they put that effort into their look. They feel great when they're walking onto the door, when out of the door. When someone has on a great look and they feel like their fashion is spot on, it changes you. It brings joy to you. It brings excitement
And
It brings-
confidence.
It does.
I mean, how do you equate fashion and confidence? Because a lot of people feel that they use fashion, and especially in the celebrity world, where despite all the looks, they're not always necessarily the most confident
Right,
people.
totally.
How does it help them?
It's it. Like, I mean, I see people that are, everyone else would look at them and say, wow, they look crazy.
Right.
But they are rocking their look with such confidence. You have no choice but to respect what they're doing and what they're giving. You know, and confidence is a part of it. You know, you could have on the hottest look off the runway from the latest season or collection, but if you're not rocking it with confidence, it's totally gone flat, you know? So, you know, that's a part of it. You know, I think all of the people that we look at, designers even, you know, that we flock to and love, they are pushing their collection and their vision with confidence, and we are believing in what
And
they're
thus we wanna
saying.
put it on.
Exactly. So if you're not confident about what you're doing and confident about what you're giving out, then it's pointless, you know? So they definitely go hand in hand, for sure.
I have a question for you because I want to know, what celebrity do you think needs the biggest fashion makeover?
Wow.
Is that too hard?
I was like, there's so many.
Oh, stop! No,
There's
no,
so many.
There's so many.
There's so many.
No, Kevin.
You know, honestly, I would say, and I know I'm going to catch a lot of slack for this, but I would say Jennifer Lopez. You know,
she needs a makeover.
yeah, I do. Like, she's
But
got,
she's so beautiful and
she's-
glamorous.
She's gorgeous. She's glammed. She has an awesome body. But I feel like there's so many things about her look that need to become more age appropriate. You know,
Okay.
so you don't have to show a bunch of skin in order to be sexy. You don't have to, you know, have things that are so tight in order to show how great of a body you have. You know, I feel like, you know, fashion is all about appreciation, and it's all about discovery, and you don't have to give it all away in order for me to appreciate.
So, are
and
you
discover
telling me you would
something.
cover Jennifer Lopez up?
A lot of times I would. You know, a lot of times I love looking at her. She looks amazing. She does. And she looks great in what she wears. But, you know, I think appropriateness is also, you know, an element that's really necessary in fashion. And, you know, sometimes, you know, she's not always age appropriate or event appropriate and things like that. So, yeah, J-Lo.
That's an interesting choice. What do you? A lot of people use fashion because they get dressed and they think about an event because they want to be more photogenic. What are your tips for people to be more photogenic? And a lot of people say, "Oh, I just wear black," right?
Right.
What are the tips to help people be more photogenic and come across better in a photo now that they're all fashioned up?
You know, I was really inspired I'm very inspired by my parents, and they had just some basic rules, and one was fit. I mean, fit is the key.
The clothing.
Yeah, totally.
Like
I
the
mean,
clothes have to fit.
Yeah, I mean, if it's too big, who cares? If it's too tight, who cares? You know, so it's about the fit. It doesn't matter your shape, your size, if you're tall, you're short, anything like that. Like, it's all about the fit.
So you don't. So basically, if your clothes fit right, you're going to look good in the photo.
Totally. Totally.
It's because you've done editorial work, so you see how this works.
Yes, it's all about fit, and that's why we do a lot of pinning and a lot of clipping in the back and things like that. That's why there's always a lot of alterations. There are alteration staff and people on set. It's all about the fit. If it doesn't fit right, it's not going to look right. I kind of like that.
I kind of like that. Is that your new quote too?
Yeah, I like that.
Wait, say it again one more time.
If it doesn't fit right, it's not going to look right.
Okay, another quote from Kevin Matthews.
I like that.
What's the up and coming designer that you're most excited about?
I don't think there's any up and coming, but I think, there are designers who are not really paid attention to until they're given, a rap
contract
song or something like that.
Oh, you're so funny.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? So, I've always been a fan of Victor and Rolf. I think that they have such a dynamic approach to fashion. Like it's not run of the mill. It's not, plain Jane. It's not, as my parents would say, homely.
Homely. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's very it's fresh. It makes you think. They have a great use with color. They have a great use with pattern. They have a great use of fabric. They just are very innovative in terms of how they're pulling clothes and looks together. They're very inspiring to me. I love them.
I know you style both men and women. Who do you prefer to style, or does it matter to you?
Actually, I love both. I love
Okay.
women because women are more risk takers. Men are a little less apt to try different things, just because they're focused on the masculinity piece of it, or they're focused on, how it's perceived by others. I think women are much more of a fashion renegade, or they're willing to take more risks. So, but I also love working with men because I want to make that change. I want to open my client up to trying new things and discovering things that they just didn't think worked for them. So, I like men and women for, different reasons.
I know that a lot of people, certainly in midlife, certainly approaching a career change, will seek out the help of a stylist because, in the workplace, if you're over 50, people may be discriminating,
Right.
Particularly women,
Totally.
about aging. And so people use fashion to help them get jobs. It might be the pair of glasses that you're wearing.
Right.
Help me understand how in midlife, how consulting a stylist might help you with a career change, both for men and women, to get your look right so
Right.
that when you go on that interview, you might actually get the job.
I think a good stylist knows the audience.
Right.
And I think it's about knowing your audience. You're getting, and when interviewing, when you're interviewing for different industries, there's different ways to
There's
dress.
different looks. Like, give me an example.
Totally. I mean, if you're interviewing for something in, retail and more fashion, you're going to give more fashion just to
You need to have that
show
look, right.
Exactly. So you can show that, But if you're interviewing for something that's a little bit more corporate and a little bit more, strict in terms of that, you want to give a polished and a clean and conservative more look. So I think it's really about knowing the audience. And I also think it's about, you don't have to lose yourself or lose your personality when you're getting dressed. You can totally wear something that's a little bit funner and cooler in terms of a man in their tie, or, a woman in the pattern in her shirt or a skirt or things like that. So I think it's about knowing the audience and knowing what risks and how far you can push it, with each audience.
What's the one item you can't travel without? Because I know you travel a lot, helping people out,
Yes,
styling.
yes.
So what's the one thing you can't live without? You have to travel with.
Sweatpants.
I thought you didn't like leggings.
No, I have to have sweatpants.
Sweatpants. Help me with this. You, Mr. Stylish, want sweatpants? I don't get it.
I'm definitely rocking my sweatpants in a different way.
Okay.
Than the masses. But I mean, I love my sweatpants. I love, being able to get, kind of cozy after a long day of being dressed.
Right.
And just kind of relaxing in, in my hotel room or in my apartment or what have you, just a great pair of sweatpants. But again, I'm focused on the fit of my sweatpants as well. So they're not too big and sloppy and they're not too tight. I definitely have some fashion to my sweatpants also.
Hey, well, speaking of sweatpants, I was in New York and saw the Art of the Sneaker exhibit
Okay.
at the Brooklyn Museum.
Yes.
And it was like 2 2,000 people there looking at sneakers. We only have a couple seconds. Tell me about sneakers. Are they a fashion no-no or are they a fashion okay?
I love sneakers. I mean,
For
sneakers,
men, women? Because
both.
I've never seen the more beautiful sneakers in my life.
I love sneakers, and I think they're great for men and women. I think that the evolution of where they have gone and the way designers are treating sneakers, they can be worn and rocked with suits, skirts,
I've seen people with sneakers.
pants.
There's something here where they all wear Chucks.
Yeah.
It's a black tie event
Tucks
where everybody
and
wears
chucks
Chucks.
or something like something
Right.
like that. A friend of mine was telling me about that event that I'm definitely want to attend.
Okay.
But they're cool. I think sneakers are like everything else. It's a level of expression. They have so many colors, fabrics, materials.
You can get whatever
everything.
look you want.
You can. You totally can.
Oh my God, you're a sneaker guru.
Yeah,
I
I
love
am.
it.
I love
I'm a
sneakers.
sneaker person too. I loved it.
I love them.
This is Doctor. I am so happy you were here today. What a fun interview and so informative for our audience. And I'm so glad you've moved back to Detroit. This is Detroit Nation. Dr. Arterberry. I'd like to thank our guest today, Kevin Matthews, fashion stylist to the stars. I appreciate you being here. Remember, this is Detroit Nation. We are lifestyle driven. Follow us on 313 Nation Radio. And remember, achieve your personal best, then beat it. See you next week.